see if YouTube picks us up. It looks like we're being live streamed. I'm just waiting for the screen to come up so I can share it on Facebook, and then we'll get started.
Yay.
All right, let's see. Share to Facebook, and here we go.
Live on YouTube.
Oops. Okay, the post is on Facebook, so I'm not sure if it streams live there or it just shows up after the fact. I haven't figured that out, but it's, we're live, and I want to welcome everyone who's watching this either as we're talking in the live version of now, or if they're plugging in afterwards and watching on replay. We are called to do this every year. It is a beautiful assignment to come on Christmas Day. I'm Jeannie Fritsch. I'm the host. All I do is coordinate the speakers and just facilitate the conversations that they bring their magnificent messages to the world, specifically to aid in the inspiration, the messages of hope, something to feed the heart, to feed the soul of someone who might be feeling a disconnect, who might be feeling, experiencing a significant loss, whether it's a relationship or a loved one. They might be have gone through loss of employment, and maybe they've, it's just a different Christmas because it doesn't seem as sparkling. It could be that there's a disconnect from family, or that they're at a distance from where their family is, and so they're not participating. It's really interesting how Christmas, that will like hold the mirror up on where we're at and where the gaps are, if there are any. So we're here to serve today and to hopefully feed anyone who wants a Christmas in 2023 to reflect something different than something more of what they want. And that's why we're here, because everyone who's serving in this way, who has had a segment, there was something in their life. At some point, there was a disconnect. At some point, they might have felt alienated. They might have dealt with feelings of unworthiness or unappreciated, any of that. And individually, we have like advanced and overcome and replaced that level of living with something much greater, and we want that for you as well. So we're willing to come and share and cast light and love. And Katerina Satori is the essence of light and love. Totally. I mean, you cannot just, as you see her speak, if you've never met her before, and maybe you have met her, but I still want her to share a little bit of her story, and then a little bit about how she specifically shows up and serves the world. And then from there, we're going to get into a whole conversation around appreciation and celebration as a divine art. So the mic is yours, Katerina.
Oh, so good to be back. And thank you for bringing us all together. It's a sort of our tradition now, right? Well, a little bit about my story. I have always been a dreamer, and since childhood, we caught it in time. So wow. Yes. So my name is Katerina, and the name that is my last name, Satori, means seeing in your true nature. And this has been entire life journey for me. I feel like I've been on the quest since as early as I remember to find truth and to find my true self and then create my life as art. And I was born and raised in Soviet Union, and then it became Russia, and truly saw my country through many phases, through through good days and through deep instability and crises and uncertainty. And what I also saw is what is possible for human spirit when there is the light within. And even though people had so little and they lived with very little certainty in their life and what looked like very bleak opportunities, what united people was humor, right? And community and celebration. So in my home country in Russia, celebration is huge, and we celebrate New Year's Eve. And that's the big holiday that usually people celebrate for at least 3 days. Conservative celebration if you celebrate just in evening. Typical is 3 days. But I feel like there is such a gift in this topic of celebration. So yes, I'm growing up in Russia. I've been always a dreamer and always a reader. And I would always be with the book, and the books, just provided a whole new world, right, where you can travel. And probably another thing that I really loved is exploring new places and traveling. And I couldn't wait until I could leave my hometown and explore the world. So the first time I did it when I was 17, and I moved to Ukraine to study in my first college. And being on my own felt incredibly natural. Like I've done it for many, many, many lifetimes. People say, "Oh, you came to the United States by yourself. That is so brave." And I smile and I say, that was the most natural thing for me to do.
Wow.
Just to go to a country where I can open my wings. And that's the main reason why I left Russia. Is I had promising career there. Even at the age of 23, I wanted to be a journalist. I rarely talk about that, Jeannie.
No, I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Yes, I wanted to be a journalist. I had a passion for telling stories. And I quickly realized way back then in that political climate that I could never take that desire to a true art form. I could never really become a professional journalist there and stay alive for too long. So this is one of the main reasons why I was searching for a different country, because I felt incredibly constricted in Russia through control of speech, control of opportunities. And this is the main reason I came to US, because I'm so driven by freedom. And it was my dream to come to this country. I learned English pretty much from books and tapes, and out of this desire, because I knew if I could learn a language, I can speak in any country in the world. I can go to any country of the world. So English came as a remembrance, one of the easiest languages. It was like I picked it up and began to speak it really, really fast. Now I've been attempting to learn Spanish, and oh my gosh, it's not easy. So I was like, I'm so glad I picked up English. So I came to the United States in the pursuit of my American dream. And probably the first 8 years of living in this country, I was achiever, and like workaholism was my middle name, right? Like I could not believe there are so many opportunities in the country. And I was always working 2 jobs, always reaching the next height. So I was dedicated to ambition and to actualizing my immigrant dream. And I was always connected to spirit. Since childhood, I was connected to spirit. I had spontaneous healing abilities as a child. I could see auras. I could read people's emotionally. And all of that, just the spiritual world was more real to me than the physical world. But growing up in Russia, I didn't have any role models or teachers to nurture those mystical gifts in me. So by the time I became a teenager, the only way to move forward in life was shut down that sensitivity that comes with your spiritual gifts. So I suppressed my sensitivity and wanted to become tough like a warrior, and to come to America and to actualize my dream. So it looked like I paused my spiritual development and just immersed into life development, learning about life and experiencing my first heartbreaks, experiencing my first betrayal and the shadow side of what it means to be human. And then the day when I had a health crisis, a major health crisis that truly put me into a pause, that I didn't really know how to pause, how to be with myself. I was always on the go, always in the future.
Yes.
And the gift of the health crisis brought me into this experience of slow down and dare to feel your inner world.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was the beginning of that journey. And then I remember asking my soul to awaken as an intuitive prayer. I said, I choose to fully awaken. And little did I know that I was invoking that seeing in your true nature, Satori experience, which comes to us from the Zen Buddhism tradition, that says that awakening is not a single event, but it's a series of these moments of illumination where we remember who we are and we come into alignment and we come into that heart space, right? So, now my entire life is dedicated to being of service to life itself. Life is so wise and kind and benevolent. So I'm in service to good intelligence of life. I'm a devotee of Divine Mother. And in my ministry or my service, I am here to serve the soul. And whether I do it through empowering people become very sovereign and prosperous entrepreneurs so they can bring their gifts into the world, whether it is supporting leaders and their leadership bring their next big movements to the world, or whether it's inspiring my community to find the bigger why and to find the higher meaning for their lives. I am really grateful to live in my dharma, to follow my soul's assignment, and to be of service to humanity in the time of great transformation, great change.
Yes. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. The whole thing is so beautiful. I think that a lot of people can relate to aspects of your story, because those shadows have been for me some of my greatest teachers. We have to choose to learn. We have to choose to make them a teacher, though. I think if we wallow too long, we risk missing the opportunity for the advancement, and we can feel that we're a victim, which I don't like that energy. And I think that anybody who's listening here probably has a similar aversion to it. But sometimes I think we can fall into, our world tends to promote a victim mentality. It just does. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's very much a dominant theme in our current culture. It's happened to you. Oh, poor you. Oh, And the truth is, we do make our way. We have to deal with our circumstances. We all have circumstances. But I have found that those circumstances, as adverse as sometimes they appear, they're really the most amazing gift of growth, that accelerated growth oftentimes. And it just takes stepping into the willingness to learn and grow through it. I know that you help people do that. I know that that's one of your gifts is aiding people in that process.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is here on this and they're in that energy where they recognize that they don't want to be a victim, yet they're feeling like, you know, held back by circumstances, what are there any simple steps? Because there's simple and there's easy, and I don't believe that simple is easy.
Yeah.
Because we have to engage, and we have to be, you know, it becomes easy as we engage and we're consistent in small bits over time will produce that macro that we're looking for. It compounds, you know. But to start, just some simple steps that you would recommend.
Yes, I love the simple steps. Recently, I've been contemplating on this message that that really helped me navigate some deep and dark territories on the path, or you know, one of those like foggy melancholies where you don't feel like you have that inspiration to do anything will ever come back. It's this energy of acceptance. Like acceptance is actually a strength of the soul and the wisdom of the soul. And it's learning to accept your life exactly as it is right now. And acceptance meaning you turn your heart towards your life, right? Instead of contracting the heart and like getting impatient and wanting the next stage so much, or even wanting to get out of the victim state so much, right? But when we accept, we kind of in the moment stop running and we simply come deeper into here and now. And what we're actually doing, we're coming into harmonious energy, right? We are transcending the energy of the fight or the struggle or resistance, right? Which at some level, our mind will tell us we have all the right to feel that way, right? And it's okay. And if we want to really see the wisdom of whatever is arising and really grow and expand from that wisdom, the first step is to choose to accept. So when you feel low, right? It's so hard to accept that you're feeling low, right? And now, you know, I would just invite everyone to just practice. Here's the feeling low. And instead of pushing it away, you can just open your arms to it just a little bit. You don't need to hug it. You don't need to be with it. You can just open your arms a little bit to allow it to be there, right? And just let go of the energy of the fight and of resistance, of discontent. That's the energy. When we find ourselves in discontent, impatience is right there, right? Why I'm here again? I worked on this pattern for 5 years and I'm here again, right? And experiment with this one. I'm here. Oh, I'm here again. I'm curious what I'm gonna see here that is new.
Wow.
I know this place. I've been here before. I'm curious what else I get to notice here. That's the reason I'm choose to create this experience, right? It is because we creating our experiences for our growth. Even, you know, like we create an experience of melancholy or sadness or not knowing, because that acts like a fertilizer in the garden of our soul. So simply practice saying, I love and accept my life exactly as it is, and to truly feel it, like really allow to enter it. I remember one of my very first spiritual teachers, who was not my official spiritual teacher, but I read his books and I was like, I think he's sort of a spiritual teacher for me through his books. But he said, learn to love your life. And I'm not asking you to like everything about your life. I'm asking you to love it. So it's okay if you don't like some aspect of it, but to love something is to open your heart to the experience. And even if your openness of the heart will be a tiny, tiny, tiny little shift, it is the shift forward.
Mm.
So every little shift matters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then intention, the power of your intention is so powerful. So acceptance is the first. Then the second one is a little bit more of a mystical experience, but I feel so many people in the collective are going through it either unconsciously or just beginning to realize that what they're going through that looks like a total collapse of their life is actually an invitation to a mystical union with life.
Mm.
And the mystical union with life opens through surrender.
Yes.
There is, a surrender is a willing acceptance of what is happening right now. Willing acceptance, willing receptivity, willing curiosity, even, right? It's the absence of resistance, it's the absence of distrust. And one of my favorite sayings is by Byron Katie. How do I know that what is happening needs to happen? Because it's happening.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So acceptance, surrender, and then the last one is humor. Sometimes when you are in that victim station, just go to YouTube and find dry bar comedy and watch a comedy for 15 minutes and just laugh, right?
It's great.
It totally works. It
Yes.
totally works.
Laughter is the best medicine.
It's such a good medicine. There's so many good comedians who are, it's their real gift and talent to bring laughter to people's life. I think it's fantastic.
That's amazing. That was a great contribution right there. Can we talk about appreciation and celebration as a divine art to wrap up?
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
take it away because yes, I don't want to interrupt the flow.
Oh no, it's just such a great conversationalist and listener. Thank you for the gift of that you hold.
Mm.
Yeah. So appreciation. Okay. So appreciation and celebration. Appreciation instantly raises your vibration, right? Anytime you're in the funk, choose to remember. It's a choice. You can say to yourself, I choose to remember that appreciation raises my vibration, right? And it's the same principle that we're coming into harmony with the moment. So when we are in gratitude, there is no room to worry. There is no room for anything. Gratitude is a very dominant positive vibration that dissolves any negativity, right? So every time you get yourself in a space of appreciation, boom, your entire energy field becomes more coherent, becomes more empowered, becomes more clear, becomes more magnetic. So super easy tool, but I challenge you, everyone who is watching us, how many times per day can you say thank you and pause and appreciate the moment, right? So to me, every time I am driving and I'm stopping in the red light, right? That's my moment of appreciation. I appreciate the weather. I appreciate the sky. I appreciate my life. I'm so glad I can breathe. I can see. Wow, it's a beautiful day, right? So I will just go on these spontaneous, outspoken appreciations. And it is so powerful because you notice your energy just opens up like a flower, right? Like this is our essence. This is our consciousness and its innocence. There is no fear. There is no worry. There is us luminous, innocent, beautiful flowers of existence, right? And when we remember that we're in oneness with life, we are safe. We're always going to be guided and provided so many opportunities for growth and experience and expansion and collaboration. And if we remember that life is for celebration, then we are connected to something that can really nourish us in the time of great challenges, in a time of great uncertainty. When I was in Peru this March, Peru is a sacred land that enchanted my heart like no other country did. And it felt like I've been there before many, many times. And when I went there, I really wanted to understand the culture and to understand how local people really see the earth and the meaning of life, and what are their ideals and what are their priorities. So I invited an elder to come and present to me and my group a class on their ideals and history and cosmology. So they came in, and while they were setting up, and they built the whole altar with their tools, and they saged us and they gave us a blessing. But then the very first part of the class, the elder made us all get up, and she says, get up and now start walking in a circle. So we are walking in a circle, and then she would say, and now skip, and now dance. And she encouraged us to dance and dance and dance. And then she would say, not yet, where's your dancing spirit? So for 10 minutes, Ginny, we were dancing and swirling and experiencing the joy. And she said, you asked me to come in and to share with you about what's important in our land. This is what's important, to awaken a spirit of celebration through dance.
Wow.
So we remember life is for a dance, a celebration. So that was such a beautiful teaching that really moved my heart, because sometimes when we are overworked, overwhelmed, undernourished, we can get weighed down by the heaviness of what we perceive we're holding or get to take care, right? And if we could only remember that there is a spirit of celebration within us, that we can wake up, right, by dancing in our living room and dancing in the backyard for 10 minutes. And imagine one day it becoming a part of our culture, becomes a part of something that is, revered in our values, that, we live in the culture, right? Imagine if it's like, okay, so in the last century, humans have worshipped achievement and intellect. Oh, wow, they really progressed in the last 200 years. Now they're dancing together and singing together, and the sound of music and all of it.
When you're celebrating, it's very difficult to have a bad feeling about someone.
Exactly.
It cannot exist in the same energy as celebration.
Exactly. And I believe do you have the Jinky 32 in your profile?
I think celebration is one of my
the main one.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just reading that, that it's a code that we can unlock when we come into a deeper and deeper harmony with life.
Yes.
Life is a dance.
It eludes us when we're not in that harmony. I'm telling you, when you were talking about the workaholic, or workaholism was like your middle name, and I could so relate to that. Like when the switch flipped for me, that I could produce, and there was no cap to, at that time I believe there was no cap to what I could earn. And then I went into a period where I believed there was a cap on what I could earn rather, because I think it's, we have to employ systems and think bigger and go to the quantum level to activate that original innocent belief. But I was in that for so long that I lost who I was, including the celebration. If you're not in harmony with yourself, I think it's very difficult to celebrate. But it's interesting when you talk about dancing, because as a kid, that's all I really wanted to do. And I wanted others to do it too. And over time, I forgot, or I didn't give it the value that it truly had. And as the more connected and in harmony that the inside and the outside of me is, the more celebration is just a natural. It's just a natural thing. So I love that you're talking about like igniting that, at least flipping that switch on, coming in an energetic exchange with it within you. Because I do think that it is something that the corporate culture that we have, the corporatism in the United States, I don't think that it encourages celebration.
Oh no. Yeah, because there is fear that you're going to lose your focus, or
fear that someone's going to get ahead of you. Instead of celebrating that person moving forward is good for the whole, it's a competitive environment. And I think wherever there's that low energy competition, there's no celebration.
Exactly.
Trade that away. And I think that our culture would benefit greatly from remembering to celebrate every little thing.
Yes. Yeah, celebration is it's a flowering of conscious, a flowering of the heart. That's how I really see life. I see, myself in this adventurous participation with existence, right? So life is asking me to show up on the dance floor every day, and it's a dance with mystery. It's a dance with mystery, but there is so much. I've always been fascinated by what's truly possible for humans in terms of our highest potential. And what I'm realizing, at certain level of consciousness, your highest quantum leaps are only possible through celebration and bliss and joy. It's almost like you take leaps through joy. Yeah, it's like,
is that true?
right? Yeah, it doesn't always have to be so with so much tension and so much like silent unease. We can learn to embrace those feelings. So when I feel tense, it doesn't frighten me as it used to. I'm like, oh, I'm in that state of tension, or I'm in a state of unease. Oh, let me just hold that feeling like I would hold a baby. Right. And then because it's embraced and it's witnessed and it's allowed to be here, it moves. It moves. Energy, all energy wants is to move, like a snake, right? Like a serpent path. So then it's learning to dance with life. And life has all kind of weathers, right? And it's learning to appreciate, oh my goodness, the thunderstorm is here, right? Wow, the thunderstorm is in my life. Wow, what a season in my own journey. It's just thunderstorm, right? So learning to appreciate, there is this, we mirror the nature's wisdom. And then we go through a process where there is a sunshine and a beautiful summer and harvest everywhere, and we celebrate that. And then we come into winter and we learn to appreciate all the silent blessings of the quieter months, right? So there's just so much opportunity for celebrating and seeing and accepting your life. But I'll never forget that phrase, Jeannie, that spiritual teacher said, you don't have to like your life. It's okay if sometimes you really don't like it, but learn to love it. And that will make all the difference. Yeah.
Oh, sure. I think that there's a certain amount of trusting the process of life. That's a requirement to truly celebrate, to have that connection with celebration. Sometimes I think we can leverage celebration to birth more trust in the process, because I do think that there is an element of faith that can grow and will grow the more that we participate from a celebratory energy.
Yes, yes. Well, I just a couple of weeks ago, I was going through noticing a certain wave of disappointment moving through me. And it was such a fascinating experience to watch how disappointment, like almost immediately, began to cloud how I saw my life and what has happened that week and what is happening. And the mind started building a story. And then I had this Satori moment, right? The moment of seeing into the truth of the experience. And it was, oh my goodness, I lost connection with celebration. So disappointment was a reminder for me that I lost connection with celebration.
Ooh, that's beautiful. That is profound. Potently profound right there. To have that realization and to now know, be able to name it as it comes. It doesn't occupy you as long when you can name it.
Yes, yes, yes. That's how we can work with any of the shadows, right? The shadow becomes your your friend that shows you,
Yes.
oh, come back to harmony. Oh, you weird off a little bit over here, but here's your way
Yes.
back. I'm
Yes.
pointing you the way back.
It's a reminder. It's reminding us really of who we really are. So we can't get too far off track.
Yeah.
And in the past, pushing it away, it just gave it like a pendulum. It gave it more momentum.
Oh,
When it
it's
swung
so
back.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. When you push something away, it just gives one more momentum.
It comes back with more power. And I love you don't have to like hold it and coddle it, but you can open your arms and say, sit here. It's okay. Let's be together. And there's almost like a dissipation. There's almost like sometimes there's a magic in just the acknowledgement and the allowing, not pushing it away, saying it's okay. Let's find out how to work through this, or let me see, what are we feeling? And someone could say, well, that's crazy because you're talking to yourself as a we. And I'd be like, well, it probably is crazy if you have not experienced the healing, that reconnecting with your inner voice or your inner child or the inner you or the best version of you that lives inside. If you haven't experienced that, it absolutely would seem crazy based on psychiatric notes, maybe. However, what I find is that the more connection, the more that I acknowledge what needs healed instead of avoiding what needs healed, or pushing it away, the more I those aspects of me that need healed, the more that I hold space for them, like I would for a friend, And yet, how many years did I not extend that same level of understanding and care and nurturing to my own relationship with myself? That is a powerful relationship to actively participate in moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last words? Final thoughts, because we could keep going on, but we're going to have Yvonne bumping in here saying,
I love it. I love it. Yes, I would just say, remember that every moment, if you truly ask for understanding, for clarity, for guidance, it will always arrive, right? And if you make it your intention to celebrate and to appreciate and accept your life more, that intention begins to come true in your life. So here's to inviting more beauty, more celebration, more feeling like we are enough, we have enough, And now we can just appreciate more what we have and celebrate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time, setting the time aside
Yes.
to contribute. And I honor your beauty. You are just an amazing being, an amazing, amazing container of light and love. And it's beautiful, Katerina. Thank you.
You.